Hey guys. So Jake and I just started a fundraiser for Feeding Westchester, which is an organization devoted to providing safe and free meals for people in our area. And in times like these, where there's a lot of economic turmoil and money is getting pretty scarce, these organizations can really help ameliorate the issue. So far, we've raised over $600, which is amazing, but I think we can do even more. So if you'd like to help out or donate money or share or spread the word, it'd be amazing. And we've linked the GoFundMe page in the description below if you'd like to help out. Of course, it's not required, but if you could help out, it would mean the world to us. So on to the podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Jake Wild, along with my co-pilot,
Alex Dempsey, and today we have a wonderful guest. So he requested that we introduce him, so we will do that. Please welcome to the podcast, Mr. or Senor David Gold.
Look at you. Look at you over there, David.
I know.
Wow.
This man has been wanting to get on the podcast.
ADIOS SENOR.
Exactly. So yeah, exactly. We should just introduce all our guests as like Senor, then their name.
I believe we shall.
Senor
I think
Gold.
I should set that precedent.
We're gonna do it. Now, Goldie has been wanting to get on our podcast since the start, and I think this is kind of like an achievement for us, like a milestone. Like we got our number one fan on here.
I've listened to every episode, some thrice.
Wow.
Have you listened?
He's
I
a
have
big
listened to
fan.
every episode.
So which one would you say is your favorite episode?
I must say, the episode with Amanda Lammers was very well done. Mr.
You liked that
Dempsey-
episode?
Yeah, that was a good episode. That was
Dempsey
solid.
really carried that one there.
I
Mr.
know.
Wild had some technical difficulties.
I mean,
All right.
for this podcast, we're letting Jake take the lead here. So why don't you go start us off?
We don't have to say that we're going to let me take the lead.
Well, I've been on the back seat. I mean, you've been on the back seat, so
The backseat this time, something he can use once in a while.
All right. So, yeah, David, it's a pleasure to have you here today. Me and Alex are definitely very pleased to have you on the podcast. You've been a long-awaited guest. We'd like to start off with the same question, just because it's very fitting with the times right now. So, just want to ask you how you're dealing with this crisis right now, how you're doing, how your house is looking with all the people in it, and how it's feeling.
Well, we went from having myself and my parents in this house to now everyone's back here. So we went from 3 to 6. So the Wi-Fi is a lot worse than it normally is. But, we're living fine. Because of Mr. Wild, I finally picked up some nice meditation.
yeah.
What have you been doing?
And I've been doing, before I go to bed, I do a nice sleep wind down, and it puts me out every time.
Really?
It's very nice.
Wait, what's it called?
Headspace.
Oh, Headspace.
I mean, Headspace is great.
No, it's a great app.
A nice little sleep wind down
Fun. So what's the process? Like, what do you do for it?
for Headspace.
Yeah, like what? Yeah.
Normally when I get off the phone with you guys at like 2:30 in the morning, after Mr. Wild decides it's time to go watch a movie.
Right.
I normally get into bed. I'll throw on my nice noise-canceling Bose headphones, and I'll just lay there, close my eyes, and try to just focus on breathing, and puts me out after like 7 minutes, which is great.
Good for you.
I'm normally
Good for you.
an hour to fall asleep. So I'm getting better at it.
No, that's good. I mean, for me, I don't know. The past few days, I've had such trouble falling asleep. Like, it takes me like 20 or 30 minutes. Like, I'll try and go to bed at like 3:30, and then I won't be able to actually fall asleep until 4. So I think I'm gonna try that.
I'm
Definitely.
actually like the exact opposite way of you. I'm actually having trouble staying asleep now. The past 2 days, I've woken up at 7:30, 8, and today I woke up at 9.
Wow.
See, something I never understand is people not being able to go back to sleep. Like, that's never a problem for me.
I
If
can't
I
go
wake
back to sleep when I wake up.
Your covers are all messed up. It's not comfortable.
Is it
Yeah.
that you can't? Is it that you can't go back to sleep, or is it that you just give up?
I think after like 20 minutes, you just give up. You're like, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
give up.
Really? When I wake up in the morning, if I wake up I've woken up at 9, 9:30, 10 the past the past month, like every single day I wake up at 9:30, 10. Every single day I've been able to go right back to bed and sleep till like noon. Like I never have a problem with going back to bed.
My
It's
problem is
interesting.
when I wake up, because I sleep under so many blankets normally. When I wake up, I'm normally so hot that by the time I'm like rolling around, like it's too hot in my room to do anything. So I'm just up. But it gives me a little bit of a start on my day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
good. I mean, I wake up at like noon, and then like my day just flies after that.
Well, at least we're not one of our friends who wakes up at 4. So.
Yeah.
Emery.
I've been trying to go to bed between 2 and 3 lately. Last night I went to bed at around 2:15.
Yeah, I think this week I went to bed by 2:30 every night, which is better than the other week. I think I was at 4:30 or 5.
Right. It's just I feel a little healthier and yeah.
Well, I've learned that's been the most important for me has been exercise. I know we've been talking about, the three of us have been talking about what we've been doing. But there's a day where I don't exercise or I don't do anything or like go for a drive or something to just do it. I can't sleep because I have so much built up energy just from sitting on my couch.
Right.
No, I get that. I mean, physical activity is just such a good way of kind of getting your mind off of like what's going on and like kind of channeling positive energy, I think, and like doing something and like
working when you get that sweat going. Today we had a team workout from 3 to 4, an hour, nothing crazy, but you're working up that sweat and you're burning that energy. Otherwise, you just be wasting it sitting on the couch. When you sit on the couch for the amount of time we're doing now, I mean, my space, because everyone's working, is in the basement. All we have in the basement is my couch. I sit on my couch from sometimes 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. without moving. Maybe I'll go upstairs and eat lunch, and that's about it.
Right.
So without that, you can't do anything. You're not going to be able to do anything for the day. So you got to do something.
Yeah.
Something
workout regimens. I think doing stuff, weight training is great and all, but if you really want to burn that energy you're missing, you got to do body weight and just do push-ups or sit, something that will get your heart rate moving.
Right. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
I feel great. Yeah.
Kind of the difference between, because both Jake and I are really trying to get in shape right now. I'm really focusing on weight building, and while Jake's doing body weights. So I think it's interesting. I mean, I do my weights and everything. I do my sets, and I bench, and like I feel great afterwards. I don't know.
I think totally. It's just because mine and your bodies, there's no difference in, like, we're both doing good exercise. It's just we both need to get to different places. Like we both have our strengths in different areas, I think, of like physical activity. And I think that it's not that we're looking for something different. I think it's that we're both trying to get the most out of what we're looking for.
Exactly.
What I was gonna say is you guys are trying to get to that same goal though. You guys are both you're not trying to really muscle up for anything.
Right. We just
exactly.
It's like I might have one piece and Dempsey might have this piece, and we're both trying to like put them together, whichever parts we need to in order to get to the full. We're looking for the same thing now. In the end, is just to get stronger.
Yeah.
Jake's looking for that bod.
What's up?
Looking for that Florida bod.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
He's going for bike rides. He's got to look good for the ladies down there. Plus, he's a Miami boy now. He's going to be down there a lot.
Exactly. I mean, he's already got half of it. He's already down in Miami, so all he needs is the body, and then he's
all set
already.
So.
Exactly. I think it's. So, what does a workout look like for you, Goldie?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the day. I'm a heavy leg guy, so I'll normally do about 100 squats with a 30-pound dumbbell. I'll probably do 10 sets of 20, or I'll do 6 sets of 15, a set of 10. Depends on how motivated I am. I found that watching TV or videos doesn't do anything for me. It's not like, but if you listen to like kind of rock music or any kind of music that you can kind of sing along to, you're much more likely to get it done. You'll feel better. You'll feel more.
Yeah, I agree.
You need something with a beat in the background compared to just people talking.
Right. So what I've been doing is I have been doing it to TV. I used to do it to music. And I find that they both work for me, honestly. But what I've been doing, here's what I've been doing with the TV, is I'll be watching on Netflix, right? and then if I'm doing a minute plank, say, I'll use the time mark on the video as opposed to using the stopwatch. I use the time mark on the video, so the plank goes by quicker because I'm watching the thing.
You're going for like a numbered time, which for a video that's not bad. But if you're trying
exactly.
to, and like
but no, even when I'm doing repetitions, I'll just do them as I'm watching the video. It's like background for me. I don't know. It's been working.
I can't
do that though.
Watching a video.
Yeah.
People who are normally like, if you're watching a YouTube video or a TV show, most of the time their voices are pretty calm.
Yeah.
And to me, like having a calming voice doesn't make you really motivated to go do something.
I get that.
That's difficult.
I mean, also,
I think, yeah.
No, I was gonna say that
5 or 80, you're tired, man, and you're pushing yourself.
I think lately, for me, it's been like lately I've found that like I've more than any other time in my life, I've been more motivated to finish the set, to finish what I'm trying to do. So I felt like I haven't needed the music as much. Like if I'm just doing it, but now I feel like I have a month. I've at least probably another month of this. I'm going to be home and I have nothing to do but like get hunger and all of that and stay safe, obviously. But like, I feel like I'm just motivated by that.
So here's the thing my team was talking about today, or I was talking about with some of our coaches, is like, right now, this is a time to separate yourself from who's good and who's great. The people who are good are maybe doing one workout a week or not even working out. They're just doing a little something here and there. The people who are great are working out 3-4 times a week. And they're not missing anything because this is the time. Whether you're doing it athletically, academically, musically, this is your time to do something that you normally don't have the time to do. I haven't picked up a guitar in 3 years until now. I have the time. I might as well learn it now.
Totally.
It's kind of like there's no excuses right now because you can't really be that much busier with something right now. So I mean, I feel like when the excuses are kind of away.
We said all the time, and we were always like, "Yeah, we'll get to it eventually." Like we're busy. Like anything we used to say to each other. I used to tell you guys all the time, you guys should start working out, and you guys were always like, "No, we're busy. We're here late."
Yeah,
and
totally.
I mean, Jake, Nate, and I always used to joke about like how we're gonna hit the gym before rehearsal, and then we never did because then we were like, oh, we need like a little break from school and rehearsal, and then if we work out, we're gonna be tired, and then that was our excuse, and then we never did that. But now there's like no excuses for that. We're like working out.
What I think is great for you is you have your dad who's very much into it.
Mm-hmm.
My dad has not done a workout since he's been home. Jake, I know you and your dad go bike riding every day, and you got Stephen Dempsey training you, and it's hard.
Know it's great
when someone's pushing you and he's there. You can't shortchange anything because you feel like you're letting that person down, and that person's going to call you out on it compared to if you're by yourself, which is something I have had to teach myself from freshman year to now. If I used to probably shortchange myself, if I did 8 and I was tired, but the thing said do 10, I probably did 8 and said, oh, well, who's going to know? Not anymore. Because I've learned now there's a difference between doing 8 every time and doing 10 every time is a big difference.
I mean, when I'm working out and like my dad will bring up the weight a little bit, I'll be like, no, I don't know if I could do that. So I don't even believe in myself, but my dad's like pushing me, and I'm like, I can't let him down, and then like I end up doing it, and I exceed my expectations.
It always works if someone's screaming at you. You do that little bit more to get it up.
But then when I'm by myself and like there's no one around, I'm like, okay, so I don't actually have to do this weight, and then like I don't get the workout. So that's what I'm really trying to do right now, because obviously my dad, like when I go off to college and stuff, he can't be like there training me. So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of training myself.
You're only 2.5 hours away?
Yeah, like 3 hours, but yeah.
You can make a little trip up there once in a while and give you the work.
Well, of course, but you know, I can't do that like every other day. No, but I'm really training myself to kind of believe in myself more with working out and like sets, because I'm always so scared. Like I'm gonna mess up and I'm gonna drop the weight and I'm gonna like injure myself.
So if you're working out by yourself,
you're
benching, I'm assuming, right? We're talking about bench press?
Or well, I don't bench by myself, but if I'm doing like something like, I don't even know the names of the workouts, but if I'm doing like chest workout and it's like a really hard weight
You're using dumbbells, right? You're
Yeah.
using dumbbells.
Yeah.
So if you do that, always make sure you have stuff clear of you around. That way, if it gets too
Yeah.
heavy, which if it does, it's not a big deal at all. Happens all the time. It means you push yourself to your limits, which is
Yeah.
a great. I was once doing push-ups after a chest day, and my arms I had 10 push-ups to do. On the 7th push-ups, my arm just gave out. I literally was like, oop, going down. I just hit the ground. Nothing you can do about
Yeah.
it. That's your
Yeah.
limit. But what I was saying is, if you have dumbbells and you think they're gonna be too hard, make sure you have room around you to
To
drop
drop them. Right. Right.
Are you? Yeah, Goldie. Are you? So like, yeah, like with just another thing you're learning, like with guitar, right?
Mhm.
How have you been learning that? How have you been teaching yourself and stuff like with that?
YouTube.
You
There are
too?
great things on there. The
Yep.
internet is full of resources.
That's very
I
true.
remember when I was first learning guitar, which was probably like almost a year and a half ago at this point. I remember I got this app, Guitar Tabs Pro. I'm sure you guys know it.
I have it.
Yeah.
I use it for piano mostly.
Yeah, me too. But when I was first starting out with guitar, I would just like memorize the different chord shapes, and I would like practice for hours switching and switching.
Yeah,
then that's how I like.
That's my issue so far has been the switches. I can get the
Yeah.
chord right, but then to switch quickly is hard.
Switching is the next step. Once you can do
Just
that,
doing it.
it's practicing and like memorizing, muscle memory essentially.
And been playing guitar for 8 years now at the least.
Yeah, Jake. Yeah, Jake's.
What's up?
I've been playing 8 years now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like it was going through songs for me. I was never like practicing chord changes, just going from like a G to a D, a G to a D. Like I would always just find a song I wanted to play, and then once you're learning it, you practice in the context of that song, and you just keep learning
Yeah.
songs, and you keep doing that.
Now I've seen you sight read songs now. Just look at the chords that you can play right away. But when you were
Yes.
on Drops of Jupiter and Daughters were your two greatest songs, how long do you think those took you to learn?
I mean, Daughters is hard. Find my guitar, I'll show you. Daughters is
You have the
One
guitar,
sec.
delightful.
I know we're gonna get a little performance here. I'm excited.
We're getting a little tidbits from Mr. Wild here.
I know. We've seen Shay perform, but never Jake.
And
Good Daughters. Okay, so here's the deal. On my back, I'm sorry if I
You're
just
good.
said-
Yeah. You're fine.
All
Look
right,
at
one
that.
sec.
We have a different setup here.
I
Yeah.
really enjoy this room. It just seems like it's a nice room for any occupation.
No, it is. It's a very nice multi-purpose room.
It seems like it's a nice
So,
random-
okay. Daughters. Why am I blanking? So here's the deal with Daughters is it's very weird chords and very weird switches, but it's literally just practicing them, and then you like I never would sit and play whatever this chord is, like an A major 9 or something. Definitely not that, but like whatever. If
Yeah.
I was sitting and practicing this chord change, I'm never using these in other songs. It's just practicing in the context of the song. So right, so you're playing like this. You have this crazy chord, this thing. But it's just thinking of how the fingers move.
Right.
You move it here. It's easy. You just take this off. And then it's just moving this there, okay, then that there. And you just have to practice that in the context of the song. I wouldn't think about it that way. Drops
Yeah.
of Jupiter is pretty straightforward.
I mean, but for me though, when I was like first learning a guitar and like obviously learning the basic chords like E, A, like E7, like those
Right.
chords that are in literally every song. I mean, like that's what I would do. So I get that. Like that works like for like the lesser used chords and stuff.
No, but it works.
That's how.
think-
That's just how I did it. Obviously.
It works with so pick a song, right? If you want to play like, okay, let's think. First song that came to mind is like
Blackbird.
feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. Wake me up, right?
Yeah.
Review. Like you just have to. It's E minor C G, and it's just
Yeah.
thinking, okay, if I'm you, right, and I'm playing this, it's one of the first songs I'm learning. Then I'm learning, okay, E minor to C to G. Then you're playing another song, if you're gonna play like a so like a when you feel my heat, look into my eyes, it's where my demons hide. And then you have that E minor to C.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of thinking like, okay, I used it in that song, I remember it. You're not necessarily thinking this is the chord change from Wake Me Up. You're just remembering how to do it because you've practiced that first song.
Yeah.
It's like carries over. That's the way I think to do it. If you want mine,
I want to ask you guys this because I take this a very different way. I talk about accountability in a form of like a team way that like I gotta hold myself accountable because everyone else holds each other accountable. But in these times right now, how are you holding yourself accountable to yourself and what you want to do with your life? Because right now, this is very easy to just say, I'm going to sit around all day and do nothing. There's nothing else to do. But we all have things we want to do.
Yeah. I mean, Dempsey, you want to talk about what you're doing?
I mean, right now I'm doing a lot of piano playing. I'm teaching myself piano. I think more than anything, I think you just have to do what you love. And like for the things you don't like, I think you just have to find like some payoff somewhere. Like what's the payoff for doing it? Like for example, if I'm doing like work for English and it's annoying and I don't want to do it, and obviously it's like pass fail, what my motivation is, which is going to be different for every person, is that I want to impress a teacher. I want to like impress this person like who might not have the highest expectations of like everyone who's going to do the work. Like I told Jake and I had to write an essay like a month ago, and it was so hard getting through that. But the thing that got me through it was
pass fail has made it 100 times harder to do.
Yeah, it has. I mean, the only motivation I get is just I want to like make my teachers proud, and I want to do that. That's what I mean. I get it. It's like kind of nerdy and like kind of like goody two shoes-esque, but you just have to find like some way to do it.
Those people worked hard for you all year. It's unfortunate that this is how it had to go.
Yeah.
We deserve to show them.
Yeah.
So and you guys were both mentors too. So how do you tell that to your kid? The whole point of accountability is not being accountable to other people, but being accountable to yourself. So how do you teach that lesson to kids going on? Because you guys were both very good mentors to me when I came to high school. You guys were only a year older.
Why don't you take this one, Jake? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's all just leading by example, I think, in terms of that. And it's like, I think that my mentors, like multiple mentors would come up to me and they'd be like, oh, I heard you singing yesterday in the choir. Like, I heard you doing this. And it's like, my Instagram too, like, is all music, right? Like, I'm not the type of kid that's like gonna like, I always say like, I don't want to separate work and play. It's like a joke, but like, I'm not the type of kid to just like make a separate music account, because I hold myself accountable to posting videos because I want to post videos and because I know that that's important to me. And I know that by posting it on my main account, I want them to be good. And when I post a video of myself singing a song in the first week of school this year and kids in my mentor class see it, I think that it brings off the message to them, oh, like I'm working hard and I'm fully pushing myself into making music, right? I think it's like almost like not to people that have separate music accounts, but for me, it's so important to me that if I had a separate account, it would almost be like, it's not as important. There's not as many people following it. For me, everybody that I know that follows me on that account knows that I'm going to be posting music videos, and they know that I'm going to be singing on it. And I'm taking that as motivation because I'm saying, I'm fully committed to this. I'm fully committed to making this a part of my identity. So that's how I think of accountability in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of taking a dig at me there for a little bit.
No, I wasn't because I'm going to school for music.
Right. No, I for context, I have a music account on Instagram that's private, but I just like doing it for friends. So I'm not like pursuing it as a career per se. I just like doing it for fun, and I just want to like share it with the people I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a dig. I'm just the reason that's the reason I say it is because it's different. We're both using music in different parts
ways.
Of our life.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right. So yeah, Goldie, I know you've, to all of our viewers that don't know, David is a very, one of the most motivated athletes that I know.
100%.
Football team. He's a kicker, but I think more than that, he's
a leader.
He plays a larger role on the team as a leader.
Definitely.
So you want to tell us a little bit about your role on the team?
So that's the thing. When you mostly think of a kicker, what does he do? He comes out every
Like, yeah,
20,
exactly.
40 plays and just kicks the ball. Not a big,
Right.
not a big job. But to me, it's not about that. I don't get me wrong. I love kicking and punting football.
Yeah.
It's a very weird thing to say, but it's like, Jake, you guys find sanctuary in playing music or something like that. I am just one of those people. It's just like, that's my sanctuary. Is out on the field by myself,
Yeah.
kicking and punting.
What I
But
think is
me-
really interesting is that, you know, I feel like kicker is the position on football that is kind of the least about teamwork. It's the least like kind of team effort because you're there by yourself. And I mean the teams out there, and they're well, obviously with the other side. But what I think is really interesting is how you personally have just become such a team player. I mean, you're always around the team. You're always motivating them. You're always being a leader, which I find really inspiring, especially because you're making definitely the most of your position.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I hold myself to. That's why I keep talking about accountability. I hold myself to a higher standard because I know what we were capable of. We were one game short of winning the first section championship in school history. It was the first time ever that we had been to a section championship since they started having state playoffs. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm just saying. But it's something if you find your passion, why wouldn't you put everything you have into it?
Exactly.
Right.
If
And
you don't, then is it really a passion?
totally. And I think that I was thinking about it in terms of like I don't know if to the viewers, I don't know if you've watched Last Dance, but the new Michael Jordan.
Don't even get me started on Jerry Krause. What a stooge.
Oh, right. But like, yeah, that guy's
Jordan's the ultimate competitor.
right. And he
Higher thing to win. Did you watch the episode this past weekend?
yes, and what I was thinking about the most was
Jordan rule with the bad boys
Yep.
of the Pistons. It didn't matter what Jordan did. He was taking that team on 1-on-5, and it didn't matter.
And-
He came back up.
and it was all about how like they went out and they played the Pistons and they lost and it was like this heartbreaking thing because the Pistons had beat them and they beat them dirty and they did what they had to do to beat Jordan when he was in his prime, and then they went back and they said they were heartbroken, the Bulls, and they went back and they trained that day and they were working from that moment to beat the Pistons, and they went back and they beat them, and then you see.
So you know who does that same exact thing? I normally don't shout out, but our boys soccer team, the day after they lose their final game, which this year was the semifinal game, the kids who are returning next year are out there on the field the next day. I have so much respect for that.
Oh, that's great.
For the soccer team, I think we just have to give a shout out to legendary coach Mr. Allen. I mean,
Matty Allen.
definitely one of the best coaches out there.
Definitely deserve a shout out. Coach Allen's one of, if not the best soccer coach in Section 1. Coach is also just a legendary of a man.
Exactly.
I think that
100% agree.
But I think that what I wanted to say was that, right, you have like, you see in Last Dance that like MJ and like the Bulls, like they went back and they trained, but first and foremost, like the team that played them so dirty, the Pistons, they shook their hands after the game, right? They held themselves to a higher standard. And then the next year, and then the year that the Pistons lose to them, they walk off the court like babies and they don't even shake their hands. And whatever that says about them, but I think that's something I like to think about is like this saying like that my dad always says to me is like we do better, right? Like you want to just do better than the other person.
We always talk about it. We talk about it as a team.
Yeah.
Sometimes we were playing Spring Valley, I think 2 years ago. They didn't shake our hands. They didn't shake our captain's hands when the coin toss happened. We're going to hold ourselves to higher standards than that. But
right.
I finished this book last night. It's called The Last Lecture. If anyone who's listening to this, please go read it. It's amazing. But this quote has stuck with, there's two quotes. This is definitely one that stuck with me. It's not how hard you get hit. It's how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. I think that's the most perfect way of saying it.
Yeah.
To be honest, right now, we're all getting kicked in the ass right now by this COVID-19. I mean, this is a whooping of a lifetime. But
Definitely.
if you look around, what has this thing done better than anything else? It's unified us all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, I mean, I think that we talked about this in another podcast, but it's like it taught us that what our normal wasn't normal.
Exactly.
It taught us
Love
that
tying it around.
You also agree with me that it made you appreciate the little things so much more.
Yeah, 100%.
You can't, because now think about all the stuff we used to do. I read like those little drives we used to do after rehearsal, literally just dropping someone off.
Those are the best. Those were
rocky runs we did. Or even if we were just in someone's basement having a good time on Saturday night, the times we went bowling or the Buffalo Wild Wings, or Jake, you weren't here, but the last time I saw these guys, we went on a hike for, I don't know, half an hour.
Yeah.
It's just all that stuff we always lose it. Or how many of us have, I've seen both of you do it, you've seen me do it. How many times have we gotten upset about a bad grade?
100%. Yeah, me all the time. That's like the epitome of like me, just getting upset over like something bad.
You've seen me do it. We've seen Jake do it.
Yeah.
We've seen everyone do it.
It's the worst thing.
But here's the thing. Now, you can't think about that stuff anymore. No. One bad grade cannot be your like end all.
No.
Right, and
this is something I'm trying to teach my kids next year is that we have a new normal now. The old normal you knew.
It's gone. It's gone. Appreciate everything.
Everything you have can be taken away in a snap.
Yeah.
And I think that
we don't know anyone who's had this thing very seriously.
Right.
You're very lucky. Imagine you lost a loved one during this time and you can't have a funeral for them.
Right.
That's the worst.
Like, we don't actually know anything. We don't understand the pain people are going through, but we have to be able to appreciate the little things more now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that note,
I
think we're going to end off the podcast here. That was really inspiring, though, Goldie. I like that. We definitely all need to be more appreciative.
When I finish this book, it's about this dude who's dying of pancreatic cancer and wrote down everything he would want his kids to know because his kids were little. I just couldn't stop thinking about I couldn't stop thinking about last night. Like, if everything came to a screeching halt, which it pretty much did, what's our legacy?
Yeah, what are we leaving behind?
What would be the one thing would you want everyone to know about? So I want to hear, just say one thing you guys would want everyone to know about you. If you knew that you had to tell everyone one final thing, what would you tell them?
Okay, I can go first. So one thing I feel like I would want everyone to know is that I'm a person who you can always go to if you need anything. I'm always going to be there. And I don't know, I always want to be there to support people and be there to listen and be there to offer advice. That's the one thing I would want people to know.
Yeah, I think that one thing I'd want everyone to know about me is like that I'm an empathetic person, and that this is something I remember, Goldie, I mentioned this at a one of the first mentor days where we had training, and this is something that stuck with me. And I remember everyone was laughing when I brought it up because it was like a big presentation that we were doing, and I kind of told this story in front of all of the leadership positions. And the story was that my dad and my grandpa, my mom's dad, they got into a fight.
Oh, yeah.
And I told this in front of everybody. And they got into a fight. And like what it was about, it doesn't matter, but they got into a fight. And basically a point that I made, which was kind of able to bring the fight to a halt because it made them both think, was that living, and I want you both to think about this, and everyone listening, like this is something kind of an epiphany that I had for myself, which is the way I go about things, is that putting yourself in somebody else's shoes doesn't just mean like going and like, this is how it would feel if I was in this situation. That's not what it means. It's putting yourself in somebody else's shoes is standing in their shoes. And the most important part about it is from their point of view, feeling how they are in the context of their situation. Mm-hmm. It's not about, if I had less money, this is how I would feel, right? It's about, if I had less money and if I was in this situation as this person, how would I be looking? Mm-hmm. And that's how I try to act every day. That's what I think I would want my legacy to be, is just being an empathetic person.
I think I'm going to end on this. This will be my last remark. I'm just going to finish with this story because it's stuck with me since freshman year. We had just lost our playoff game against Harrison. We lost a heartbreaker. Blocked the punt with 30 seconds left. Just couldn't convert. It happens. Game of inches. You just can't convert sometimes.
Yeah.
Mikey Martino comes off the field, senior at the time. I'm a tiny freshman, but I worked my butt off doing whatever I can for that team. Mikey Martino comes off the field crying and goes, "It's kids like you is why I play this game." And that stuck with me ever since. And I hope that that's what I'm going to bring as a leader next year, and on the field and off the field. Because if everything was done tomorrow, I want people to know that I may have not accomplished everything I wanted to. I may have not been the biggest, I may have not been the strongest, but I'm damn well going to be the hardest working one out there. And if anyone's going to try to outwork me, I'm going to raise the bar even more, because no one can and no one will.
Yeah.
And
That's definitely the attitude to have.
If you want something bad enough, it doesn't matter what they put in your way. I'm going to finish with this guy's quote again, because this is the greatest quote ever written. I mean, it's amazing. The brick walls are there for a reason. The brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show us how badly we want it. What more can you say? We've all ran into adversity over time. It's all about overcoming it.
All right. That's a great end. So we're going to do the 1, 2, 3 Adios Senor. You ready for it?
My favorite part right before lunch. 5 minutes early. Get out of there.
All right. I'll do the countdown. 1, 2, 3.
Adios,
Senor.
Thanks, guys.